أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome on a new episode of Youth Matters with me, your host Sakina Habib, and I hope that all of you are doing well. I'm sure that many of you would know that the Ahlulbayt Society, ABSOC, is regarded as one of the most active organizations led by youth based in the United Kingdom that caters for the youth through the organization of various creative and unique events that provide a platform to promote the teachings and values of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, as well as involving the youth in addressing the contemporary issues. Now they have even launched Dar Ahlul Bayt Society, DABSOC, an affiliate of the Ahlul Bayt Society, which is a proud member of the global ABSOC UK network, with a mission to promote the values and teaching of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam through innovative avenues catering for a diversified community. Now today's discussion will be based on how do we present the Ahlul Bayt to the non-Shias, and I think that this is a very interesting discussion that we can ponder upon. To carry on with today's heated discussion, I am so humbled and honored to be joined by the secretary of DABSOC himself, the one and only Ali Jawad Sumar, joining me from Dar es Salaam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ali, and it's a pleasure having you on Youth Matters with me.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm happy to be joining you guys today.
Before we proceed into our questions, can you tell us a little about yourself and about your role as a secretary at DABSOC?
So I currently reside in Dar, and as a secretary of DABSOC, I handle all the external and internal communications. I oversee all the members' responsibilities, and I oversee all the compliances as well.
Okay, so it must be quite a challenging task. I mean, what are some of the challenges that you face?
So currently, like DAPSOC is still quite new. We're just a year old, a little over a year. So we have a really good team, but in terms of quantity, we're not that many. So the challenge is on all of our members to continuously work together, communicate properly to make sure all of our events are successful.
Okay, if you were to talk about how this initiative started, how did you really come up with this idea and, you know, creating this platform for the youths?
So it happened around January or February last year, 2020. We had gone for, me and a few friends had gone for a program in Zanzibar. It was organized by Friends of Humanity, and they had brought Sayyid Aman of Shwani over for the weekend. And a few of us friends, just started talking, and I was like, why don't we start something of our own, like a youth-based organization? And we just started listing down the gaps in the youth in Dar and how we could help to help that, you know, like raise awareness on contemporary issues and etc. So the second part of that was thinking of a name, and it occurred to us, oh, you know, like most of us did study in the UK, and we thought, oh, there's no ABSOC in Dar. Why don't we form an ABSOC? So then that's how the name DABSOC came about. So in the beginning, we just started off by doing social work, like helping the poor, visiting orphanages. But then we really sat down, spoke about our vision, and now are working to help the youth.
That's amazing. What a beautiful like start, really. And also, what has been the response in Dar? You know, how different has it been? For example, when you were doing this probably like you said, you just started, of course, but then how different is it now doing it in Dar?
I think compared to UK, right?
Yes, exactly,
Yeah,
compared
okay,
to
so
UK.
I think it was a big challenge doing it in Dar because in my experience as a part of a UK AppSoc, we were always just focused on students. But now we have like a more wider range of variety of people we put our focus on. So be it students, young adults who just started their careers, sometimes even
Mm-hmm.
like children, toddlers, etc. So it's
Oh,
been
okay.
difficult and challenging and different for these different ages. But then we've coped well,
Okay.
alhamdulillah, because we have such a good team. So that's one of the main challenges so far, because we're not just focusing on one age group.
Yeah, I can see like you have a variety of age categories that you're focusing on, which is really good. Like you have that, diversity, and an open platform for everybody to be a part of yeah, DAPSOC. It's amazing, really. Now, as for today's topic, uh, how do we present the Ahlul Bayt to the non-Shias? What do you think? What type of an approach is required to achieve this?
Um, I think the approach required to present the Ahlul Bayt to non-Shias is similar to what the Prophet did when he first came. If I'm not mistaken, for the first 40 years, instead of preaching, he presented his akhlaq, his manners. And those are the values that
Yes.
we should be implementing, kindness, charity, good akhlaq. We need to implement these teachings of the Al-Bayt for everyone to understand what exactly the message was. As such, we engage
Yes.
in charitable activities within and outside Islam. We also engage in intellectual discussions and provide a platform for non-Shias to share their views, ideas, and just
Okay.
try to help people. And with that regard, we've got a lot of inquiries from different communities, different sects, and etc. Like asking how they can be a part or how they can help in just
Okay.
whatever they can do small. Yeah.
That's amazing, really. If we were to talk about, for example, why does there seem to be a divide within the non-Shias about us? What do you think? Why does there seem to be that divide?
Obviously, we live in a day and age right now where social media is at its peak. So there's a lot of misinformation going around in the media as well. So that is one of the main reasons, and it doesn't really help, like all this misinformation on portraying our image and making us seem
Yeah,
like we're different to everyone else. Number two, even we need to take responsibilities on ourselves because we're ambassadors. Um,
yeah,
it's not just one or two people or us as Dapsocon, it's the responsibility of each and every one of us to show our good akhlaq, to show our values, to show our character, and represent them the right way. And I think one other reason is because like a lot is focused on singularities, like one event where a small mistake or something has happened, and people tend to focus on single or events or single things that have been done and try to portray us based on just that one thing. So I think those are some of the reasons why we're portrayed differently.
So, what do you think? Like, what other ways can we, see or work on to attract the non-Shias in, understanding the lifestyle of the Ahlul Bayt, apart from what you've already mentioned?
So it needs to start from ourselves, obviously. We need to be open. We need to, before we try to present our values of the values of the Ahlul Bayt, we need to be open and listen to what they have to say as well, what they're trying to portray, what their side of the story is. So it goes both ways, and we just need to be understanding of each other.
Yeah, I think understanding is key. Like we should really understand each other's religions and
Yeah,
backgrounds and also
yeah.
cultures and where we basically hail from. I think all of that really adds a lot of importance in understanding. Also, what have the results been so far using this platform of DAPSOC? to portray the lifestyle of the Ahlulbayt, to the audience? Like, what has the audience's response and reaction been?
Honestly, it's been very overwhelming, just to say the least. It hasn't been an easy ride, but alhamdulillah, we've managed to try and reach our objectives using these avenues.
Okay.
In terms of our charitable activities, we have created a bond with beneficiaries in such a way that we try and make a point to share the happy days and the sad days with them. Uh,
Okay.
and as such, like all these people have a special place in our heart. We are now working on orphanages. Recently, we're just trying to make the surroundings of these orphanages better to make their life better. So in the beginning, we just visit, try to take something small for them, spend some time with them. But now we're actually trying to make it make their life a bit better. And we've also been approached by many NGOs who would love to work with us and work in various initiatives like making the environment and the world better. We've got messages from people in different communities asking us to collaborate with them just to collab in different events, addressing different issues or helping different kind of people in different ways. So in a way, this is our way of propagating the values of the Ahlul Bayt, which so far, alhamdulillah, it has been successful, even though there's been a few bumps on the road. But so far, alhamdulillah, we've been doing really well, but there's still a long way to go until our target is met.
So just a sudden question, a bit out of the topic, but if you were to pick a certain personality from the lives of the Ahlul Bayt, someone who really uh, someone whom you really admire, and their traits and their personality, or maybe their story has somehow had an impact on you, who would that be? It doesn't have to be someone, just one particular personality, but who would you choose? Who would it be for you?
So it's a bit obvious, but since my name is Ali, I've always really um,
Yes.
yeah, I've always really enjoyed the stories of Imam Ali, and I've just tried to implement
Yeah.
his values onto myself. And one of those values are being brave and never backing down. Being courageous, always standing up for people, standing up for the less fortunate. So I think if there was one value, then it would be that from Imam Ali alayhi salam.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Amazing. Now, I was going through your Instagram page, and I also saw that there was this really nice event where you had Sayyid Ammar Nakshwani, and I think that was a superb program. Can you tell us a little more about it, and what was the topic, and what was the event all about?
So this was one of, if not the first actual event for DAPSOC, and when approached Sayyid Aman of Shwani for an event. It was on an online event which lasted about an hour and a half,
Okay.
and the topic was actually how do we present the Ahlul Bayt to the non-Shias. So
Okay.
yeah, and that was the topic as well. So he just went through a few points on how we should portray ourselves, and usually, us always targeting the other side. Instead of that, we should always look at ourselves first. How do we target misconceptions? How do we target misinformation and stuff like that? And the event then ended with a few questions from the audience, which Sayyid Amar answered after.
Okay, that's amazing. Must have been a very educative and very interesting, informative session, I'm sure. So,
Yeah,
do you guys
Alhamdulillah.
have recordings? Do you guys have recordings done of such programs so that they can
So
be showed later on?
for some of them we do, others depending on the speakers, they don't want it to be recorded for later use. So we don't keep for all of them, but the ones which are okay with our hosts, we have them on our DAPS of YouTube page.
Okay, that's amazing. Now, let's get to the interesting part, and that is that, as youths, okay, what are some of the most recently discussed and pressing topics right now?
Um, There's quite a few depending on the audience, but majority that I would say are the role of the youth and women in the society and in leadership,
Yes.
social vices and its solution, domestic violence, physical and mental abuse, culture versus religion. Do we really need to follow one religion? So these are some of the pressing topics that are being discussed at this moment, or need to be discussed. Sorry.
Yes, let's talk about a little about women's leadership in today's century. As you know, that there are so many media platforms out there, and I think we are working hand in hand. And I think a lot of the female force is also coming, into the picture. What is your view on this? As in, what do you see in the coming years? How will the media and the social platforms and the media industry go about with the involvement of the female force?
I think it has already started. So your question is how would the media adjust with female leadership, right?
Yes,
I think
yes,
it's
in a way, yes.
I think it's already started because we don't have to wait long. Because as you know, the president of Dar es Salaam is a woman right now as well. So
Yeah, yes,
if we're looking at a smaller scale like our communities, I think in a way it's good. Like we'll have more ideas. It will be more open-minded, and there'll be a wide variety of creativity that comes from the female leadership as well that people will get. So I think it will allow us to adapt and go further in terms of social media. I think social media has been very accepting of female leadership recently,
yeah,
so I
definitely.
don't think, yeah, it will be a problem. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, what other contemporary issues, according to you, need to be given attention to in our society that are probably not discussed much within our communities?
I think one of them is obviously culture versus religion. It may sound as a cliche, but it does need to be discussed. Another one is the questioning of our beliefs isn't being addressed, which is leading the youth to go astray, become atheists, or going away from the religion, as per se. So that needs to be discussed as well. And also our role as Shias needs to be discussed. Why are we here, or what needs to be done by us as Shias?
If I were to ask you this, probably it would come about a bit personal, but when you were in the UK and right now that you are in Dar, what were some of the changes that you had to adjust to as a person and also adapting to the community, the society, the Imam Barga and everything basically, like your general routine?
I probably shouldn't answer this, but I think obviously it's more, I wouldn't say based on the community, but it's more based on the location where you are. But staying in the UK and staying indoors is just a little more open to be in the UK. Not every step you make is being scrutinized. So I feel like that's just
Okay.
one difference that I would say for now.
Yep, I agree with you on that actually. Okay, now this is again a question that is connected with social media, and that is that what role does social media play in passing certain messages and concepts to the youth and the community, especially one, like I had seen you did this really nice Ramadan virtual Keep Safe program using the DAPSOC platform, which was absolutely fantastic. I saw a lot of university students who were giving their viewpoints, and the way it was edited and put out there, like really raw messages that were being shared with the audience. So, can you tell us a little more about this?
So it was actually an idea brought forward by one of our members, Fatima Danani, and she
Okay.
had this idea to do a virtual check-in for every day of Ramadan. So we just wanted to do something different that hadn't been done before. Like some videos like talked about the importance of visiting your family who's passed away, and during the tough COVID time, no one was able to go to the graveyard. But once things had
Yeah.
calmed down, it really brought out the emotion in people, and
Okay.
urged them to go visit, because those visits helps the people in the grave. The second thing is we had videos talking about different rules and different mistakes we make while fasting. So it also brought about eagerness in people, and eagerness to learn, eagerness to find out what exactly they're doing wrong. And
Yeah.
furthermore, one of the effects it had was that people wanted to come out and be part of these videos. People wanted to come out and help. People wanted to come out and just play their part. So there had different people who were getting DMs every day from people wanting to be part of one of these videos, and it was very overwhelming. So it just showed that, like, if you try and do something yourself or as a group online, it will bring about that eagerness in people to go out and help, and just play their part, even if it's something small.
I think that's a really great concept, like putting your real feelings and sharing your raw stories with everybody. And I think at some point, it encourages those people who probably feel hesitant or shy to, talk about their lifestyles or what they're going through. But when they see such videos, it sort of, motivates them, and somehow you tend to relate that, okay, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people out there, and we're on the same boat basically, and there's always that way of finding solutions together. So I think this is a great, you can say, initiative that you guys really pulled it off really nicely. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, yes, now what current projects are you guys working on lately?
So we just had our family fun fair carnival, which was last week. It was a
Okay.
carnival we had organized, which hadn't been organized in a while, in some at least 9, 10 years. So we had
Okay.
organized stalls for people in our community, outside of community, to come and sell anything. People who needed support, they would come set up their stalls and sell their goods. We had food stalls for people, and we had games for kids. We had a kids corner, and just a good fun day for people to come and enjoy, with their families. So, and the money that we got or made from that event, we are using towards our future plans, which are going towards orphanages to make the surroundings in the orphanages better, and we're also using them
Okay.
to pay for the health insurance, yearly health insurance of less fortunate families, so they have free hospital access throughout the year. So those are just our current projects. But in terms of events, we're also planning Lifting the Lid Part 2. I don't know if you've heard of our event Lifting the Lid Part 1, but
I
we're
think I've
planning a
seen
Part 2
that.
soon as well.
Yeah, I've.
Yeah. So that's
Okay, that's
that's what's in
amazing.
store. Yeah.
Okay, now, as you had mentioned about COVID-19, when it hit us all very deeply, what do you think? What type of an impact did this have on the youths? And how do you think the online systems aided in coping?
I think it was quite a shock. Maybe not so much here, but youths are usually very active, and for them being confined into one space at a young age isn't ideal for them, because they need to be going out, they need to be seeing their friends, they need to be, just being active, playing sports, and just staying at home, being in quarantine is a big
Yeah,
shock for the youths. So I think, um, Alhamdulillah, there have been many organizations who have, when COVID started, who started online programs, be it quizzes, be it extra classes, be it fun games, just to you give the youth that feeling that, oh, you're
yeah,
not alone. And there were so many online platforms, Discord, Zoom, Slido, where the youths could meet up with their teachers or meet up with their friends, just discuss a few things. So, Alhamdulillah, like, not just laptops, there were many other organizations, let's say like YS, Youth Islamic Service, or Debating Society, who organize such events for the youth.
Do you think that this COVID-19 actually opened up ways of becoming more creative? Because if we were to think, we started having like more virtual programs coming up. Also, of course, in some parts of the world, some businesses really went down the lane, but then there were some businesses that really went on top of their games. What is your view on this?
I think it honestly depends on everyone's situation and circumstances. In terms of events, it has made things very easier because you don't need to wait for a scholar or a sheikh to come to your country to host a program. Now it can be done easily online or through Zoom. In terms of
Yeah.
businesses, I think it really depends on the people. Like some people had to close their shops, and some people did very well. But Alhamdulillah, now slowly, I think these people have an online platform as well, or online presence where they can do their business as well, like Instagram or any other online platform where it gives them a platform to share their businesses.
Right, very much agreed. Yeah. Now, just a question. I'm sure that you must be having like non-Shia friends, probably in your university or in your workplace or whatever. So, on a daily basis, like, how is it interacting with them? And what sort of differences come about, and how do you cope up with those differences?
I think in university, the main difference would be when we would just go to pray. And it's just the praying styles are a bit different, but the main thing that we both had was respect for each other, and I think that's the main way to cope with it. Just understand each other and respect each other's beliefs. So, Alhamdulillah, during my time in uni or my time right now, I haven't had any altercations or fight with any of my friends because we both have that respect for each other to maintain. And Alhamdulillah, we've had good discussions or good debates in a very respectful manner. So I think the most important thing is respect.
Okay, I think we are coming to the end of our program. And just before we would like to end, is there a final message that you would like to share with the viewers, especially on today's topic?
Um, on today's How to Do We Appreciate the Non-Shias, I think the main thing I would say is just make sure whatever you do is be respectful and portray it with good akhlaq. I think that's the number one thing. If you have that locked in, I think everything else would be easy.
Thank you so much for watching today's program. And I hope that all of you benefited from today's session and from the videos that Brother Ali shared with us. So, inshallah, I'll be catching you next week with another very interesting episode and new speakers. Thank you for joining me on Youth Matters with Sakina Habib. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.